In 1513, explorer Juan Ponce de Leon set sail from Puerto Rico. In a matter of weeks, he would be the next Spaniard to discover land in the New World. He named it La Florida. La Florida would be ruled by the Spanish and British for 3 centuries. In 1845, the peninsula would be the next territory to join the United States. In 1876, American industrialist Henry Flagler visited Florida. While he thought the hotel facilities and transportation systems were inadequate, Flagler saw great potential for Florida to be the next hotbed for new ideas and development during the rise of industrial America. In 1958, Florida would once again be the next center for innovation and technology when NASA established the John F. Kennedy Space Center as its launch pad for space travel. Florida's innovation story would continue in 1963 when Walt Disney flew over the swamps and forest of the Orlando area and envisioned what would be the next big idea to change the state, making Florida a top destination for the world. Today, you have the opportunity to be the next leader in innovation and technology.
Florida before Henry Flagler was really America's last frontier. There just wasn't much here past, especially south of Jacksonville. His vision really, very quickly, within a matter of just a few years, became one of developing the entire east coast of Florida all the way to Key West and the Bahamas and Cuba. He was great at minding the details and really figuring out how things could be done. He was a visionary, and his vision led him to whatever innovations he needed to find to make that vision a reality. Henry Flagler believed in technology. I mean, all of these titans of the Gilded Age were technophiles to an extreme level. They really believed that technology was freeing up the individual to live up to that individual's potential. They could hardly open the newspaper every day without seeing some new form of technology. So these guys really believed in technology. And the rail car behind me, while it may seem antiquated by today's standards, it was the highest tech form of travel of its day. The fact that you could be self-contained and move anywhere around the U.S. in your own sort of capsule was a big deal for them, and they made the most of it. You could get from New York to South Florida to Palm Beach, for example, in 36 hours. That was the height of innovation. That was the height of high tech at the time. The simplest way to explain the lasting impact of Flagler's legacy is that Florida went from 0 to 60 really fast, from being America's last frontier being one of its largest economies and largest states. So that's completely, I think, a function of Flagler's investment and vision for Florida. Where other people thought he was being foolish, he thought Florida had a real future, and he was right. He turned out to be very right.
The railroad really connected Florida with the rest of the country in the 1870s, 80s, really made a tremendous difference. That was the first big boom of growth that Florida had. Disney came to Florida. He wanted to build a park east of the Mississippi. He wanted to have plenty of land, and he wanted to have a park that could be enjoyed by his guests the entire year round. Disney brought a lot of technology to theme parks. Of course, the audio animatronics were one of the key. He worked on that from the, I believe, 1940s, maybe even the 30s, which were just amazing to people, to where now that's almost second nature. That's one of the key technological innovations that Disney brought to entertainment. He also did so much research on how to run a park. It's all designed in such a way to run as smoothly as possible and handle the tremendous crowds. Everything from the queue lines to where the stores are located, to how people find their way through the parks. It's just a tremendous testament to the accomplishments of organization and planning, that not only do the people go there and have an experience of getting through the park in a mass of people and enjoying themselves, but also the actual experience of the park itself with the animatronics, with the ride technology. It's just an amazing experience from start to finish. Disney's original version for Epcot was to create a true living community, with people actually living there on site. Guests could come interact with the community that we're going to be living in the future, but the future was now. To introduce the newest technologies, whatever they might be, to create a truly dynamic community that would be self-sufficient. It was just such a dynamic enterprise that he was thinking about creating. His vision was just amazing for what he wanted to create with Epcot. Walt Disney was always looking for the next thing. I think Epcot really plays into that. He was always looking for cutting-edge technology. He wanted as many people to see that technology, to get their hands on it, to really experience it. It was vital to him that the American public continue to be wowed, to continue to look forward to the next step. What was coming next? What's the next big thing? We're still there. We still have big things in our future. And Disney would be excited by that to no end. And I think that that was one of his driving passions throughout his entire life.
Florida was one of several locations that the government was looking at to build our launch pads. There really wasn't much here on this side of Florida except for some small towns along the East Coast. Florida was eventually selected for a number of reasons. Because of our location to the equator, the engineers were able to determine, rocket scientists were able to determine that a closer proximity to the equator would give us more of a push by the Earth's rotation to help us get into orbit. So Florida being on the East Coast, the area of Cape Canaveral being virtually uninhabited, it proved to be the best spot to build a huge launch complex like Kennedy Space Center. Henry Flagler actually did Florida a great service, and it did NASA a great service. He built the railroads that ran down the east coast of Florida. Because he was able to develop this part of Florida with his railroads, we were able to bring NASA to Cape Canaveral. One of the key components of our being able to launch the space shuttle was having railroad access. The solid rocket boosters were built, manufactured in Utah, and we brought them to Kennedy Space Center using railroads, using Henry Flagler's railroads. That was the early beginning that allowed us to do some of the things that we were able to do with the space shuttle program. We became innovators at Kennedy Space Center out of necessity. There were things that we were trying to do that had never been done before. There were things that we were trying to do that we didn't know where to begin. We just knew we had an objective. We wanted to get people into space. We wanted to send people to the moon. NASA wanted to build a space station. These things had never been done before. It required the innovations of engineers and space scientists to put their minds together to invent things that they never even knew were capable of being invented. The innovations of new technologies, the innovations of new philosophies, innovations of new design techniques, of trial and error, of testing, something that had never been proven before. These kinds of things were required by NASA in order to accomplish the missions that we needed to accomplish. NASA recognizes the importance of having engineers and rocket scientists, the importance of developing a whole new generation of people that want to work on these kinds of programs. We can't rely on the handful of people that just accidentally drift into engineering, or they drift into science, or they drift into math. We can't rely on folks just drifting into these programs. The need is too great. We feel what Florida Poly is doing will fit hand in glove with the vision of what NASA wants to perform. Florida Poly is growing students that we will be able to use in our programs at NASA, at Kennedy Space Center. NASA has always been on the cutting edge of technology. With Florida Poly, you can be the next.
Throughout its history, Florida has been a leader in innovation and technology. Florida Polytechnic University is continuing this legacy. This is your opportunity. This is what's next.
Florida's newest and most innovative state university is one that stretches the boundaries of traditional education. Imagine taking part in a hands-on college experience that gives you control over your own career destiny. Picture yourself taking classes that arm you with intellectual skill and practical ability, where learning and doing are inseparable.
What's next? Groundbreaking ideas, breathtaking innovation, boundless success. You. The traditional academic experience leaves a lot of post-recession graduates wondering what college really did for them. That's why focus, relevance, and real-world interaction define our dynamic approach to education. Our goal is to produce confident graduates who hit their stride as soon as they enter the workforce.
We don't believe in making a distinction between what you have to learn for college and what you have to learn for your job. And we don't think learning should be restricted to the classroom or just the campus. As a Florida Poly student, you will have unrivaled access to industry professionals through internships, co-ops, and applied research opportunities. Not only will you see your education in action, you will graduate with a strong network of employers who recognize the value of your degree.
Everything we do at Florida Poly is going to be new technology. We want to be student-centric with access to all the information that they need, whether you're an on-premise, on-campus student, a commuter, or an online student. We want them to have the same access through portal capabilities, classroom technologies, and access to faculty that are going to be the best in the world. We're excited about the technology that we're going to provide to our students and faculty.
This is the opportunity to get in at the ground level of a brand new institution and look at, can we create a 21st century university and look at how we deliver education in a new, innovative way.
Florida Poly is special for a number of reasons. One, we're Florida's 12th state university. We're Florida's only university that has a special mission to address science, technology, engineering, and math. We're Florida's only university that's going to be able to create synergies that are developed when you have just a College of Engineering and just a College of Technology and Innovation. We're Florida's only innovative university. You know, I tell folks all the time that big universities, they have innovation centers, but there's a commitment and an energy that's put behind creating Florida's innovative university.
I'm excited about Florida Poly because it is a new university. It is a university built on strong footings, solid academic criteria, curriculum that is advanced. It is thinking out of the box. We are addressing students' needs that do not exist at this point.
Everything that we do at Florida Polytechnic is going to be brand new technology. We're going to provide classroom technology that's state-of-the-art. We want leading-edge capability for our faculty, for our students, and for the research that's going to be going on at the university. We're excited about the opportunity that we have to do something fresh, brand new as a STEM-based university, which is all technology-based. We think what we do in the classroom is going to lead to great research, partnerships with industry, and jobs for our students in the future.
We are building a new university, a university that's based on the latest model in teaching and learning and technology. The students will be supported in the classroom and out of the classroom.
The classroom environment at Florida Poly is going to be unique in ways where we make sure that the students understand where they're going. They can have the foresight necessary so they can make great decisions, meaning that they're going to interact with industry and interact with real problems. I want them to feel the urgency and the importance of their work by making their problem solving for classes real, trying to connect them to for-profits or non-profits who deal with real problems and want real solutions so they can see their impact in reality in the real world.
Students at Florida Polytechnic University will get a unique combination of lecture and lab experiences in teaching laboratories. There will also be opportunities to interact with experts in industry through video conferencing, just as you would with research sites around the globe in a company.
Florida Polytechnic is the place to go as a student if you're looking for a technology-based curriculum. We're a STEM-based institution, state-funded, connected with research and the best companies in the industry. we're partnering with folks that are going to make our institution different from all the other institutions. We're state-of-the-art, we're brand new technology, and the curriculum that we're building is going to be very exciting for the students. The technology that we'll provide to them is going to be brand new. It's going to be something that's exciting and something they've never really seen before. So if you're a student that wants to have that kind of experience, Florida Polytechnic is the place to be. We think we're going to build the Silicon Valley of the East between Orlando and Tampa, and this is the place to go.
Technology in the classroom is something that has become a way of life, right? We have a classroom that goes with us wherever we go. We have a smartphone, we have a tablet, we have a computer, and we want to make sure that whether you're in the classroom or you're doing experiments or you're working with a partner in the field or you're doing an internship, your classroom's in your pocket, and that you're never going to be too far away from what is necessary to show you where your specific gaps of knowledge are and how to fill them. So that way we understand what you have committed your time to and what your goals are, and to be there with you.
At Florida Poly, what we have is an opportunity for you to think outside the box, and that kind of relationship that will be created with professors because it's a small classroom size. An opportunity to get right involved with your major when you get here. So certainly you'll take those common courses, but as a freshman, you'll have an opportunity to start taking engineering classes or taking technology classes. So if you're ready to get going in the areas that most interest you, and if it is engineering and technology, then you want to come to Florida Poly. And one really big thing is that if you want a job when you graduate, or if you want the foundation to build a big business or to build your own business, to be that entrepreneur, to be the next, then you want to come to Florida Poly, because we'll give you the tools to be a leader in industry or give you the foundation to be a great entrepreneur.
I think the learning at Florida Polytechnic University will be different from other universities because we have faculty with real-world experience that are coming to share and teach based on that real-world experience in a classroom environment that is focused on applied learning and applied research. We're looking to integrate research into the curriculum as early as we can.
This is one of the most fantastic opportunities in higher education today. In fact, across the country, there's nothing else going on like starting a brand new university that's technology-based and in a state university system. So Florida's the place to be, and Polytechnic is very exciting.
So the academics here are being developed in partnership with industry so students can get jobs when they graduate. We're going to be training you for all 4 years to be the most marketable job applicant when you graduate, so that companies will look at your resume and go, how can we not hire these people?
I'm pretty confident that at Florida Polytech I'll be able to get into the industry after graduating. I'm not going to, float in, stagnant water, not being able to get into the job that I want. I feel like with the new skills that I have and with the connections Polytech has to the industry, I'll be able to really get into the game field and start making cool games.
We're excited about Florida Polytechnic because it's going to be a hands-on school, and he'll be able to work. It won't just be looking at a bunch of books and trying to learn code that way. He's going to have his hands in it and making games and doing coding, and we think that's pretty neat too.
You go to Florida Poly because you want to be successful. You go to Florida Poly because you want to be part of a team that builds for the future. You go to Florida Poly because you're going to learn not only the theory, but how to use that theory. You learn how to be a team player, how to communicate. Today, the industry is looking for a worker that communicates, an engineer or a scientist who could sit in a group and communicate on all aspects. Knowledge is not limited. Knowledge is wide, and we need the students to be knowledgeable.
Anyone who loves their science class, anyone who loves their math class, anyone who loves computer science, gaming, information, using information, Facebook, anything that you can think of that really excites you about using something as simple as your cell phone, you can come to this university and spend 4 years immersed in the fundamentals and learning how to actually control that, so that you're no longer at the mercy of that technology, but you now actually create it.
The aspects of Florida Poly that excite me the most is the undefined nature of everything that we're doing, and that it gives me and others the opportunity to bring in service to the community and make it not just part of the culture of the university, but an inherent part of the technology programs, the science programs, and their implementation. So that way, in the long term, students will understand that bringing betterment to society has equal weight to their pursuit of the knowledge and their goals.
The excitement about science, technology, engineering, and math it's what underpins everything we interact with physically in the world. And if we can understand how to control it and manipulate it and make the world a better place through science, we can have a better quality of life for everybody.
Florida Polytechnic University is the modern STEM-based university. We are the next. And if you're a student that's looking for a real-world experience and a job when you graduate, you want to be the next. Come to Florida Polytechnic University.
State-of-the-art isn't just a buzzword to us. It's a philosophy reflected by all aspects of our university, including our campus. Our Innovation, Science, and Technology building was designed by world-renowned architect Santiago Calatrava, a graduate of Polytechnic University of Valencia.
Designed with experiential learning in mind, the Innovation, Science, and Technology building has 37 labs, 11 of which are dedicated to research in robotics, information technology, and the sciences. Classrooms are equipped with the latest technology, and our student information system will enable you to stay in constant contact with advisors, counselors, and mentors both on and off campus.
Architecture has to be unexpected. Architecture has to not be predictable. And I think these are the qualities that both the master plan and the ISD building embody. You can't help but be inspired by the architectural gestures that are being made. One of the major attributes of the building is the whole expression of how the building is made up, and it's all hands-on. I mean, the fact that it's an engineering school in part. You can see all these pieces moving, all these great pistons moving, the sun shading devices, the ability for students to study not only indoors but also outdoors in the shaded terraces. It totally immerses students into the whole technology world. Teaching can actually happen not just in the classrooms, it can happen in the terraces, it can happen out on the site, it can happen by the lakes. And the intent is to fully integrate this university with the world, both in terms of teaching, but also in terms of collaboration.
The campus culture at Florida Poly will be really up to the students. They will have the opportunity to create all the clubs, the organizations on campus, and we're really looking to create an environment that's different than any other university across the country. At Florida Poly, we'll have brand new housing that will open in the fall when the students are here. We'll also have options for off-campus housing as well. Dining at Florida Poly is going to be very innovative. We're looking at ways of possibly bringing in food trucks. We're going to have a bubble where we're going to have different services to have major companies in there. And we're also looking at the creative, healthier options that will be the more traditional way as well.
Lakeland is an amazing place to be because there is really something to do for everyone. Whether you like spring training games or salsa dancing or live music or coffee shops, there's a wide variety of things to do, and I think it really has something that appeals to everyone. The outdoor scene in Lakeland is really awesome. There are some of the most beautiful parks that you've ever seen for biking and mountain biking and trail riding and running and skateboarding. There's a beautiful new skate park that's really awesome. So being outside in Florida is obviously always awesome because the weather is great here, but when you have those really specific things to do, it makes it even more fun. Being in Central Florida, there are tons of lakes, so there's a lot of water sports going on, from skiing to tubing, wakeboarding, kayaking, and the beauty of that is that you can do it all year round in Florida. So in the middle of the winter in December and January, you can be out on the lake tubing, and it's such a blast. Lakeland is smack dab in the middle of two large cities, Tampa and Orlando. You can jump in your car and drive an hour to the beach. You can drive, less than 45 minutes and get to Disney World and Blizzard Beach. There are so many great theme parks within less than an hour's drive. You've got Disney and Busch Gardens and lots of water parks, Universal. There's so many fun places to go ride roller coasters and experience neat foods. You're really in the perfect spot right in the middle. There's some great things going on in Lakeland, from the food truck rallies to live music in all these different venues all over Lakeland. It seems like there's live music almost every night. And there's a great place called Lakeside Village where you can go grab a great bite to eat. There's a bunch of restaurants, a bunch of great stores, and catch a movie at the end of the night. I love Lakeland because there's always something to do here. So whether it's a Tuesday night and you want to meet your friends at a coffee shop, or it's a Thursday night and you want to listen to live music, there's always things going on and there's always people to do it with. So people are really adventurous. They're always down to do something fun, new. They always want to tell the story of Lakeland. So the people here are amazing, and the places that you get to experience while you're here are really great too.
Find your next at Florida Poly, and we'll help you cover the cost of your education. We can offer scholarships to help cover tuition and fees. You'll graduate with a degree that pays, ready to make your mark on a number of rapidly expanding industries.
We're serious about being Florida's high-tech jobs university. When you graduate with a Florida Poly degree, you graduate with industry connections and a clear path to career success. We're committed to helping you find a job.
In September, Florida Poly brought together more than 100 leaders from industry-leading firms to help shape Florida Poly's curriculum.
Apple and Florida Poly share a vision, and that vision really centers around the students. We believe that the students are uniquely gifted. There's a little bit of genius in each student. And I can guarantee you that Florida Poly is laying the foundation for the future.
The unique advantage of companies being able to interface with Poly from the start means that they can have advice and counsel and influence on both our curriculum and the kinds of teachers that we're providing for those kids, and as well as their industry experience. This is not possible with any other existing institution. That's what makes this so exciting about our partnership with industry.
Harris Corporation in general is very involved in public education and education, higher education in general. Our CEO is on the board of advisors for Florida Polytechnic, and we look forward to opportunities with students and faculty to help us solve the problems we face every day. We look forward to hiring Florida Polytechnic graduates. We look forward to working with them before they're graduates. We look forward to seeing what they're going to do after they graduate and move into the workforce. So very exciting to be involved.
I think like all of us, when we look at things, there are things that we're used to, there are things that have become part of what we do, kind of a baseline, and then there are things that are new and exciting and have some flash to them. I think the investments that are being made at Florida Polytechnic to bring both the people, the faculty, the investment, and the industry into place here in Central Florida, I think that's really exciting. I think the opportunity for the individuals that can come into that environment, get that kind of experience, and come out in the workforce prepared is one of a kind. Cisco looks forward to recruiting and mentoring folks from Florida Polytechnic.
The exciting thing for me about Florida Poly is, first and foremost, they're recruiting faculty members who want to be here. The fact that there's no tenure is really breaking the rule. The faculty that they're going to be able to recruit are the faculty who really want to make a difference, who really want to change things. And if I'm a student, that's where I want to be. I don't want to be in an old, stodgy institution where the faculty member pulls his notes off the shelf from last year, but actually is trying to solve problems that haven't been solved, because that's what's going to better prepare me for the workforce. Technology is really the key to, I think, a successful career. There are thousands and thousands of jobs right now that are not being filled for engineers, for software programmers. So if you want a job, technology is the key. I think it's going to be exciting to see. I think they're adopting some of the newer technology, both inside the classroom as well as in the research projects. So I think it'll be a good partnership.
There's such a need for science, technology, engineering, and math within the marketplace, and the fact that as we develop these new emerging technologies, we need those resources, and we need the young people to come in and bring the talent to us. And the fact that we have Florida Poly literally right in our own backyard is so exciting to Brighthouse. If I was your age, I come from a technical background and I was going to school, why wouldn't I not go to Florida Polytechnic? They have all the latest and greatest technologies, which, as you know, technology changes every 5 years, so you want to go to a place that's got all the latest and greatest. And I think just to get your hands on some of these new emerging technologies is so exciting, because you're not learning all this theoretical stuff. You're actually learning real-world skills that are going to be very valuable in the marketplace.
The idea that we're going to start as a technical university with a mission from the start to be a premier university, but we're also going to take into account what industry is looking for in their candidates, that's a great fit for us. I'm really excited about the opportunity to work with Florida Polytechnic. The kind of people we need to bring in for working at Apex IT, they need to have a technical background, but they also need to have a good grounding in IT and in the interpersonal skills necessary to be consultants at the level that we do. I believe Florida Polytechnic is looking for those kind of people, and those are the types that they'll be graduating. And we're very interested in bringing on both interns and graduates at Apex IT. With Florida Polytechnic, you've got the opportunity to really set the stage for the reputation of this school. So if you're coming into this school, you're going to have great faculty, you're going to have good opportunities to get a good education, but you're also going to be part of the founding of a tradition. So you're going to be one of the first. You're going to get a chance to get in there and help set the direction for the future.
I think the Florida Poly experience will really allow folks to be able to get real-world experience that they'll be able to apply after graduation. I think there's really an excitement in the community to be able to engage the faculty and the students that will be at the university and see how we can partner with them and really have a learning lab in the different aspects of industry, business settings, etc., that will really allow people to be able to come out and be embraced. I think there'll be internship opportunities as well as job opportunities in the local community and around the state of Florida.
If we look at history, we'll see that the Industrial Revolution, the knowledge revolution, the digital revolution, we're only in the very nascent stages of the new digital economy. We're early in the 21st century. There's going to be more change here happening in the next 10 years than than anyone you know that's alive has ever seen. That's because technology is advancing at a very, very rapid pace. And if you don't have core understanding of science, technology, engineering, and math, you're going to be an anachronism in the future.
Videos, brochures, and websites are nice, but if you want to see what's happening on the ground, schedule a visit. We're so proud of our campus that we're happy to show it off even while it's under construction. We are currently offering hard hat tours and encourage prospective students and their families to visit. Are you ready for a 21st century approach to learning? Apply to Florida Poly now. Go online and fill out our admissions application. It should only take you a few minutes, and you don't have to write an essay. Florida Poly is your opportunity to be part of a rich history of technology and innovation. We invite you to be part of our inaugural class, to be connected to other pioneers in innovation, to be pivotal, to be sought after, to be the next.